Oh, bloody cold.
Oh, it's a bit chilly, Willie.
It's making my nose run.
Oh, look at that for a view. That's the view from our kitchen window,
It is.
which is just behind you. My mouth's going to freeze up. This is going to be fun, isn't it?
Let's go out and film, he says. Let's stand in the deepest bit of snow we can find.
This is the first proper snow we've had of this winter. You see, I like it when I get a full load just dumped on me. But this has been a bit different because this has been like over a few days. What's so funny about that? So it started about 3 days ago, didn't it? And it just went really cold, like -3, -4, and it was just like showers, and it's just kind of built up gradually, hasn't it? What's wrong with you this morning? Oh, and now it's about 5 or 6 inches deep, kind of generally.
Oh no, it's deeper than that.
But in a lot of places it's like 7, 8 inches deep. Up by the fence, near the wall, the drifts are like coming up to about 2 feet deep, aren't they? And I want to go play on the top of that hill up there.
That's not happening.
But
That's not happening.
But it's about a 4-hour walk, and it keeps snowing.
And probably a helicopter ride home.
So it's been about 4 days. Well, to the morgue, I would think.
Yeah.
It's been about 4 days, and they've just issued another weather warning this morning for this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow. So
Yes.
we might be getting another 7 or 8 inches tonight. That'll be good, won't it? This is not the vlog we planned.
No.
But this is what we've been dealt with.
Yes.
So there are a few things that impact across the Croft. Because it's not getting above freezing during the day, we've got to keep refilling the chickens' water. Now
Not that they're drinking it all, it just keeps freezing up.
We've also got the same problem with Sherlock's water. That keeps freezing up, and his little chicks that we keep putting in are freezing up within like 20 minutes of putting them in there.
So we have to keep changing then.
So we have to get around that. Then we've got to see to the dogs. I've got to make sure the bees are all right, because the drifts, the snow drifts, are up to about 2 feet deep in places. I've got to make sure that it's not covering their entrances, because if you remember, the stands we put them on are only 10 inches high.
Yes.
You'd think 10 inches would be enough for anybody, wouldn't it?
It's getting very naughty today.
So I've got to go and check with those as well. Now I'm hoping the sun stays out this morning so we can get all this done. Although the forecast is for more snow showers.
I can see the dark snow showers over there.
Yeah, I can. Let's see how it goes. I hate filming bits without Sean because it's so cold that I'm constantly snotty and I'm worried about having bogey check. So if I've got bogies, I'm sorry. So Sherlock's Mews is right behind me. As you can see, it's quite a bit of snow. Now, he is lucky, we said this before, because the Mews is very well sheltered. It's sheltered from the north, the east and the south. And the snow has been predominantly north, a little bit northwest, which is why you can see a little bit over on the left-hand side drifting against that tree. But there is quite a lot of snow for the first time inside the Mews as well. We've been getting a few messages about Sherlock asking if he's okay, because it has been really cold. Even in there, on his inside enclosure, it's been down to about 0, -1. Outside the enclosure, the thermometer has been reading about -2, -3, so it's not that cold. But people have been messaging asking if he's all right. It's absolutely fine. These owls out in the wild can survive temperatures down to -double digits. Remember, what they do is they have this downy feathers around the body, and that insulates them. So they kind of heat up under where the downy feathers are, and then the outer feathers keep that heat in. So he's fine. He actually sits out in the snow, watching the snowfall and watching the little mice and things running about. So he's happy as Larry in there, and if it does get too cold and windy, he just comes inside and it's a little bit warmer in there for him. The problem we've got is, because it has been so cold, his water is freezing up every couple of 3 hours, just like the chickens. So I've got to go in there, I've got to take the ice off the water, which he finds funny for some reason. He comes and watches me do that. And then the other thing is, instead of feeding him 3 or 4 chicks at a time in each serving, I'm giving him 1 every couple of hours, which he's eating straight away. So let's go in there, I'll show you the snow, take some ice off his water, and see if he's in a good mood or not. So I've come in and it is very cold out, and you can see Sherlock's inside, right in the corner, checking out what's going on. I don't know if you can see next to him, you can just see 2 chicks that I put out last night. They are frozen solid, so I'm going to take those out, and I've got some fresh chicks to give him this morning. I'm going to give him 2, seeing as it's the first feed this morning, and see if he takes them both. Sherlock's sorted, he's got a couple of fresh chicks, his water is okay. I'm going to bring out some more chicks for him in a couple of hours and just keep checking on him, but he's absolutely fine.
We've been clearing snow every morning. Every morning that we get up, there's another 2 inches of snow waiting for us to clear, and we need a path down to the coop, not just for us, but so the hens can come out. As you can see, it's frozen solid. I did expect it to be frozen solid because it has been out overnight. Even though it's just been inside the coop, it's still frozen solid. So now it's time to give them some fresh water. Nice, fresh, lukewarm water. Come on, girl. There we are, girls. And if you look down here, even the mice are looking for shelter. This is the barn where we keep our straw, all nice and dry. Because it's been so cold, we're going to give the hens some extra straw to keep them nice and warm and scrat about in. They love that. It's snowing again. Now this might not look like a lot of straw, but it's compact. What I'm going to do is, I'm not going to spread this, I'm just going to put it in like this brick it is, and then chuck some seed on it and a few worms on it, and what the hens will do is they'll scrat it apart just to get at the food, and that will help keep them warm, and it saves me a job as well. While they're having a good scrat about in there, I'm going to go get them some nice fresh greens, because they can't get to the grass at the moment because it's covered in snow, and they need the greens. Now, I'm giving them one of these every day. They only cost pence when they're out of date. But I'm changing this one because this was yesterday's and it's frozen solid at the moment, so we're going to give them a fresh one. And they're already trying to take it out of my hands. We've also got this bag of scrap vegetables, offcuts, rubbish, salad, all that was going to be thrown out. This is from the neighbours. They bring it every day and the hens get it and they love it. Now, I found in the shed our old chicken feeders. What I'm doing with these is getting some seed, which is in here. Not a lot, because we're going to put it out several times a day so it doesn't get covered in snow. With putting these, I've got about half a dozen around the croft, putting some feed in for the birds, because we've got lots of robins and wrens and all sorts of birds that need food and they can't get to it because it's covered in snow. We're putting one on here. This is our septic tank. Might sound a bit grim, but it's the ideal place to put it on top of this grate because what's inside there is lovely and warm and keeps this warm. So it won't freeze over.
I'm up on the highest parts of the croft. Just behind those trees is the apiary with a dozen beehives. I do love it when the snow's really fresh like this and still falling. Up here it is quite exposed and the depth of the snow is about 6 to 8 inches, maybe a bit deeper, but there's some drifts that are like 2 feet thick where the wind's been blowing it across the fields. Now the beehives are quite sheltered, so I'm hoping that I don't need to do anything. I am going to have a walk around each one and just check them all, just to make sure there's no drifts that might be blocking the entrances, because even though they won't be wanting to come out on a day like this, some of them still do, and they need to get rid of the dead bees, and if the sun comes out and it stops snowing, then they could come out to go to the toilet and things. Right, let's go and check on them. Well, they're all fine. To be honest, I was expecting them to be okay. Some of the snowdrifts are about 1 foot or even 2 foot deep in places, but the whole apiary and all the hives are protected from the north and the east and the northeast winds, and the snow has been predominantly blowing in from the north and northeast. So a lot of the drifts tend to be on the other side of the apiary. Now, it is still quite deep around the pallets that the hives are sited on, and the pallets are probably about 6 inches deep, and the snow's level with that. It's actually about 3 or 4 inches over the pallet. So if I hadn't have put the hives on stands before Christmas, it would have been blocking the entrances on, I would say, just over half of the hives. So I would have been clearing it. But as you can see from this one, it's still a good 8 or 9 inches away from that. You can see as well on the roof of the hive that the snow is only about 3-4 inches deep, because we are protected by all these trees around the back of me. Now, I've checked all the entrances, they're all fine. There's a few dead bees that have been moved out, but no problems at all, just like last time. I gave a few of them the heft test, and there's still lots of honey in all of the hives, so I don't need to worry about feeding them yet. It is still snowing, so I'll check again in a day or two if it gets any worse. But I'm quite happy, and I think they're quite happy, to be honest. It's so quiet when it snows here. There's no wind at all today. And because the ground is blanketed by snow, it kind of absorbs all the noise and everything just sounds really deadened, and I really like the silence of it. The other good thing about the snow being quite deep is you can see where the deer have been walking through. You can see the deer tracks all around the croft. I am frozen to my bone.
Just the one bone?
Just the one bone.
Oh.
Oh, it is chilly. It's like can't even open my mouth properly. It's like, you know, when you've had injections on both sides for fillings.
Yes.
That's a little bit how I feel at the moment. I'm scared I'm going to bite my tongue. The thing is, whenever you put on social media or on YouTube that it's like, oh, it's -8 and it's been so, you always get like the odd, oh, it's -40, oh, we've got 13 feet of snow. They turn it into like, who's got the biggest willy competition.
They do, yeah.
So it's not a competition. We're just showing you what life's like up in the Highlands at the moment. And for all those that say, oh, I hate the cold.
It's lovely.
That's fine. We absolutely love it. That was one of the reasons we came up here. Because
it's beautiful.
We love the snow. And you just got to wrap up, put your hat on.
No wrong weather, it's just wrong clothes.
Your big coat, 5 or 6 jumpers underneath.
Yes.
I've got 2 pair of underpants on.
I have, and they're still frozen.
I've got a pair of jeans, a pair of joggers, my big thermal socks. I need something to cover my lips to warm my lips up a little bit, don't I? I could just put my hand over my mouth. You'd quite like that, wouldn't you? Just leave it there for a month, Colin.
Yeah, it'll shut him up.
We've got everything done. So the chickens are done, the bees are done, Sherlock's sorted.
Yep.
For another couple of hours.
Yes.
And then we'll be out in again in a couple of hours.
Changing the water and all sorts.
To do this again. This is our life at the moment. And I tell you what, we absolutely love it.
Absolutely.
Even if I can't talk properly. Oh. There is another weather warning due to come into force.
In about an hour.
In about an hour or two. And it is starting to cloud over. You can see it's not as sunny as it was at the beginning of the video.
Yes.
So we've wrapped this up just in time. We're going to go in, get the heating bumped up, take the dogs out for a little stroll.
A nice cup of coffee.
A nice cup of coffee.
A nice latte.
And sit and watch the snow come again.
Hey.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, love it.
Be nice to wake up to 8 inches in the morning, wouldn't it? Another 8 inches. We hope you've enjoyed this. What?
Lovely.
We hope you've enjoyed this. Come and live in the Highlands. No, don't.
No, don't.
We want it all to ourselves.
We want it nice and quiet.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't told them about my thing.
Your thing?
Do you want to see me gash?
He's got a gash.
I've got a boo-boo, look, on my hand. So,
Yeah.
you know when I showed you the bees and you saw the little aerial shot? Well, you'd think after 6 years I'd remember not to get my hand in the way of the propellers of the drone, wouldn't you?
If you've been on social media, you'll have seen that.
It took a little detour, did the drone, and I think it was down to the cold because it's programmed to avoid obstacles.
But it didn't.
And it was supposed to follow me where there was nothing behind it, but all of a sudden, for some reason, it decided to go sideways.
Into a fir tree.
Into a tree. And then lie down. And when you watch the video, you can see I don't really panic. I just kind of walk up and pick it up, and it just needed a new little plastic propeller. And funnily enough, it's that same plastic propeller that about a quarter of an hour later sliced into my hand. So the drone didn't like me that day.
He nearly lost an arm.
We hope you've enjoyed this vlog. If you are not already, please subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Give the video a thumbs up and hit the notification bell. Some people say, YouTube didn't tell me you had a new video out. And I say, well, have you got notifications switched on? Oh, no, what's that? So switch the notification bell on and YouTube will send you a little notification every time we... What did you do then? Every time we release a new video. If you want to help support the channel, it pays for things like looking after the chickens and Sherlock.
And the bees.
And the bees. There is a link. It's either in the video description or depending on which device you're watching on, it's up above Sean's head. Click on that, you get some exclusive content and bits and pieces.
You will.
We update that now about 5 or 6 times a week.
Yeah, I'm putting photos on there now.
So check that out if you want more content. Right, we better get in because I can see the clouds coming behind us.
And I want a cuppa.
Take care of yourself. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Ta-ra.